Hi, this is the Hotbox, telling you that this video might have some sensitive stuff in it, so take a second if you need to and go check out something else. Otherwise, please enjoy the show. Hi, before we start, I'm sorry. This video is a re-upload because originally when I made it, I didn't know about the Liver King's video response, so I went back, reacted, and edited it in because I don't ever want to misinform or misrepresent a situation. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into the video. Are you ever happy to be out of the loop? Let me explain myself. Some things come as a surprise to nobody, or at least to very few people. The sun will rise, the tooth fairy isn't real, brown cows don't make chocolate milk. This one was hard for me.
It's not fair!
But sometimes you encounter a topic that is so new to you, but that you go on to find out has a dedicated following. And sometimes things happen under the umbrella of that topic that are so wild that they give you and your newfound community that collective moment of, yeah, that sounds right. Now, snap back to reality where you don't have friends, but you do have Twitter, and you read the headline, "The Liver King was taking thousands of dollars of steroids per month." And you're me. This is a personal story. And an attack, in a way. Buckle your seatbelts, because this is how a primitive porkhead preaching prehistoric power was really just all pumped up. I'm talking about Brian Johnson, aka the Liver King. Let's get right into it. Welcome back to the channel, new and returning, young and old, fans, haters, and everyone in between. If you're new here, why not subscribe? It's quick, it's easy, just takes a second, and you can always undo it, but it really does help out the channel a lot, so thank you. So who is the Liver King? The Liver King is a fitness personality on platforms like Instagram and TikTok. He's one of those TikTok carnivore types. You know them. They're the people that make a big deal about how vegans are annoying and say that all they talk about is their lifestyle. And then they proceed to be the very thing that they just said they hate by preaching about their meat-centric diet and lifestyle and making that their whole personality. The Liver King also capitalizes on a subsection of male demographic that ties the idea of masculinity into being primal and swole. A core part of his teaching are these 9 ancestral tenets that he has also gone out of his way to dedicate Instagram stories to. There's a hard line between respecting and applying traditional beliefs to your life and marketing tradition to impressionable people online. What do you even mean the CEO of the ancestral lifestyle? Because if you're just trying to be funny, it isn't working. And if you're not, then it's just outright disrespectful. Brian's following has grown exponentially, and he has used it to market his ancestral lifestyle. How does getting on a modern jet fit into an ancestral lifestyle? Included in his ancestral lifestyle is fitness challenges and an intense diet that includes heart, raw tentacles, and liver, thus the name the Liver King. Also, apparently it includes working out from the age of like 8 or 9.
I started working out about 8 or 9 years old.
Which, I mean, kids need exercise, yeah, but to ascribe the term working out, that rigorous of a term, to the activity of a child at that age, it just sounds a little unhealthy, in my opinion.
If you don't believe this is possible, then I suggest that you take that self-limiting belief, you put that shit in a fucking box, and you bury that next to all your embarrassing shit.
Excuse me, you can't just put things in me without my consent. There's plenty of YouTubers that already do that to people, and there's plenty of hate and anguish in this box already. Thank you. The Liver King claimed that by adhering to these 9 ancestral tenets and buying his products, you could achieve a physique and lifestyle like his. He frequently denied the use of steroids on his personal media, like his Instagram. In this post, for instance, it reads, "To anyone reading this, though I eat raw liver, raw bone marrow, and raw fertilized eggs every day." He came in the eggs. "Those are the only steroid complexes going down the Liver King's hatch, or into my body, period. I've been working out since 1986, 35 years, and living the 9 ancestral tenets: sleep, eat, move, shield, connect, cold, sun, fight, bond, for the last decade. The ancestral lifestyle is not about how jacked or how strong Liver King can get. It's about spreading the ancestral message so that we can express the highest version of ourselves. It's about bringing back the wise ways of our ancestors so that we can all be happy, healthy, jacked, and strong. I'm sending my wholehearted appreciation for sharing the ancestral message on your channel. If interested in honoring the ways of our ancestors, learn more on my feed. Thank you for helping to spread the message. There's another response from the Liver King in a conversation where he allegedly says, quote, "I've never cheated nor taken a shortcut in any capacity of life. You earn the life and wife that you behold. Most people think it's impossible because they look like shit despite doing movements that they call work, which isn't, and despite eating clean, which isn't. My thesis is that if you commit to the 9 ancestral tenets, you will unlock the greatest version of yourself, your inner beast. You will optimize your testosterone, your growth hormone, your IGF-1, your DHT, your metabolic markers, and you will achieve a higher version of yourself that is to behold too. I believe in the ways of our ancestors. We are descendants of the sole surviving species of the genus Homo, the baddest mammalian predators that ever lived. I honor these ways by, thank God it cuts off there. The Liver King has been on multiple large platforms to preach his all-natural lifestyle, and repeatedly denied the use of performance enhancers, as well as belittling those who would accuse him of such.
Regardless of whether you use stuff or not, like...
I don't.
Can they get a build like yours without taking them?
So I want to set the record straight. I want to expand and tell you why it's possible. A year ago, maybe 2 years ago, it was all about like PEDs and steroids, right? And then, you know, same question, same answer. I didn't touch the stuff, don't touch the stuff, right?
Joe Rogan criticized you. Joe Rogan's a big person in terms of his platform is big. How did that feel when he said, he alluded that you're on steroids or something like that?
Yeah, number one, I don't do it. And number two, what I want you to say is, you know what, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that guy, in fact, he did say he's in the 0.00001% of genetics if he does it naturally.
What is the Liver King's response to this claim that the Liver King is hormonally improved by science?
The question has always been, do you take steroids? Do you take PEDs? The answer to that is no. I've always told the truth. I still tell the truth. This is funny. People write in DMs.
Right.
And they're like, they tell me what I'm taking.
Right.
And then here's something else. I was just joking around. I'd like to get your opinion on this. You know, I thought, so again, for the record, I've never taken steroids.
Really?
I'm thinking about doing it.
Yeah.
Ancestral Tenet 10 is have a little fucking fun.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? If you've built this biological resilience, I always say, have a little poison. I'll drink, I'll do mushrooms, I'll do shit. Like every Saturday I imbibe. I'm like, you know what? I'm healthy enough. If I want to do a cycle, I'm gonna do a cycle. And how much you want to bet I turn into the Incredible fucking Hulk?
You're gonna be terrifying.
I want to be like this. Okay, you think this guy's on steroids, right? This is the guy who's on steroids. It's like if somebody has, let's say, 700, testosterone, free testosterone, and if they're taking steroids and they want to get up to 1,400 or 1,500 or whatever it is, guess what? You can do the same thing with the 9 ancestral tenets. And if you do the 9 ancestral tenets and you're living this way over this amount of decades, you're going to be able to produce your highest and most dominant form.
So I think when people see someone with your physique, they look at it and they think there's something going on here. There's gear, there's steroids, there's performance enhancing drugs. Talk to us about, whether you use performance enhancing drugs or steroids or anything to get this physique.
Listen, I love this question. I've been getting this question since high school, and it's done more to lift the Liver King brand and message than any other question. So I hope you asking it now continues to do the same. The short answer is no, I don't touch the stuff. But here's the deal. Isn't it just fucked up that a muscular, lean man has to justify his level of fitness, but a fat, lazy, metabolically deranged, or a skinny, fragile, osteopathically deranged, they don't have to justify their lack of fitness?
Oh, Liver King, you're on steroids. You're on PEDs, and so it's like, okay, we had a lot of fun with that, and then we had a doctor come on, we made a video. If you ever Google Liver King's blood work, we had a legitimate doctor come on. We did like a blood work reveal. That was fun. But then the accusations never stopped. So I'm like, okay.
Well, I assumed you were on steroids. I was talking to one of your guys, and I was like, yeah, he's on steroids, right? Like, people don't look like that. He was like, no, he's not. And I think I'd heard Rogan say you were on steroids.
Everybody. I'll tell you this. There's a lot of subprimals that are convinced that Liver King is taking steroids.
steroids, primal or subprimal?
Subprimal.
Wait, why? I'll probably do TRT once my T levels start.
I don't believe you. I think after we get to know each other and you get to know the 9 ancestral tenets and you get to understand, and this stuff is in the literature. If you want evidence-based literature instead of the bro science, Google this and use Google Scholar. You'll find this in the literature. 50 years ago, we had 50% higher testosterone. Today, people take steroids to increase their testosterone by 50%. So why not just do these ancestral tenets?
I mean, I got good T levels currently. I'm just saying
you say they're good because that's the new normal, and that's the relative difference. But how much you want to bet you could double your testosterone naturally by doing these 9 ancestral tenets?
Well, you know the reason why people bring up the steroid thing is because it's almost like it's like a discredit.
Well, you hear this all the time that hate always comes from below, and hate always comes from within. Yeah. Right? When people really hate their lives, because most people do, they go to jobs that they hate, they come home to lives they don't love, they sedate themselves with enough bullshit, right? And so they hate themselves so much that they project that hate above them. And people are suffering today with depression, with anxiety, with autoimmune conditions, with infertility, right? They got low energy, they got low libidos, they got low ambition in life. What I'm proposing, my thesis is that there's this simple, elegant solution to living a goddamn kick-ass fucking life. Right? So this is my job as the CEO of the Ancestral Lifestyle, to model, teach, and preach this message so that our people don't have to suffer, so that we can return to our highest and our most dominant form. So you say, what if you don't want to be like that? Well, 80% of people's lives fucking suck already.
Now, the Liver King may preach some things of merit from time to time. It's common denominator things like look after yourself first and foremost. But some people need that. It's why I do it in my videos as well. But that kind of thing does not excuse a disingenuous personality when your personality is what you market. Say whatever you want about steroids and performance-enhancing drugs. It is the Liver King's body, it's anyone's body, it's your body. Everyone is free to do with their body what they would like. I can acknowledge the work to obtain the physique that he has. But when the Liver King so publicly claims natural gains and makes it the selling point of his brand, that's when it becomes a problem because it's an outright lie, and a dangerous one that threatens to affect the lives and finances of those that he markets this lifestyle to. Marketing your product, your content, or your service does not have to intrinsically be evil. There are many fitness and lifestyle channels, for example, just channels in general as well, that provide guidance and advice and promote themselves without being predatory or trying to apply a one-size-fits-all method to life. But the Liver King does not do that because this is how the Liver King's brand of marketing works. It seeks to provide an absolute answer that's a hallmark of deception. This life is gray and abstract, and unfortunately, our struggles cannot always be reduced to just chomping down on symbolics. Brian, the Liver King, has repeatedly attempted to play down the development of his business. He's stated that he never wanted to go viral, that his products are just a happenstance, a way to obey the ancestral tenets. He downplays the growth and impact that his social media presence has had on his business ventures, but in this day and age, a social media personality is a powerful marketing tool that you cannot ignore.
Liver King existed way before a year ago, right? I never wanted to go on social media. I never wanted to do a podcast. I never wanted to be like public Liver King. I loved my life. I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but before Liver King on social media, I was rich and anonymous. It's a pretty badass life to live. Go anywhere, do anything. No one's gonna distract you. Now if I get on the lake, on the boats are coming up. Hey, Liver King, Liver King. But in terms of how my other businesses grow, my other businesses grow 50% a year over year. So what kind of impact have I had on these businesses is really marginal.
Where do you invest?
Where I invest is like, we're doing 100 of these companies. And you know why? Because people are hurting and they hate their lives. Right? They're suffering and struggling with such depth that they need to hear this message.
Discussing the Liver King is a bit of a mixed bag because he seems to relish in people knowing about him or hearing his name. He's of the school of thought that there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Joe Rogan made a pretty interesting statement on his show. Him and somebody else were talking about you, and I think the other guy was saying that you eat liver and that you do some of these ancestral tenets, and Joe Rogan said something to the effect of, I don't think he's doing any of that, he's got an ass full of steroids, that guy. Joe Rogan's also usually pretty high on his show. Like, what do you think of that comment?
First of all, I just want to say I think he's incredible. I think that I couldn't be more grateful that he's talking about me. Joe Rogan said, this guy. I mean, you know that in and of itself. I go to run the Liver Queen again. This guy that I hold in the absolute highest regard, irrespective of the light he's painting me in. Look at how happy I am. You know, look at how many people that have never heard of me have now heard
Liver
of me.
King? Who? Right?
This is, you know, one of the greatest feelings. I also just do want to say, I think that him saying that is dangerous. You know, I want to set the record straight. I would love the opportunity to talk to him face to face, to really get deep into the 9 ancestral tenets. What I'll share back with you, and I'm just going to face it head on. I don't touch this stuff. I've never done this stuff. I'm not going to do this stuff.
What stuff?
The ass full of steroids that he talks about.
You've never taken steroids?
Never taken steroids. I've never done PEDs other than prioritize, execute, and dominate in life.
However, I would be remiss to let a dishonest person remain in a position of power and not be called out. I'm not going to sit idly by and let Mr. Liver King go on the air and essentially call cholesterol and science just concepts, declare them to not be real, and then go on to tell other people how to adjust their bodies according to those kinds of trains of thought.
Are there actual hard medical downfalls or shortcomings to this diet? Higher cholesterol, are there things that you have to actively do to combat those?
Yeah, this is all rubbish. Right, like the whole
idea of
thing.
Tracking cholesterol.
All of this stuff is fucking hilarious. You could make that face if you want.
Well, no.
Let me tell you what cholesterol
but that's
is.
because that kind of shits on the face of.
Sure, yeah, of course it does. But you stand in line, right? You buy that vegetables are healthy. You buy that you should be wearing a shirt. Right, you buy that you should refer to yourself in the first person.
I was gonna ask you this.
You buy that cholesterol has something to do with heart. Let me finish this. Cholesterol is a proxy to something we don't fucking understand. If you want to know about heart disease, you need to know about your HSCRP, your inflammation. What does your insulin look like? What are your triglycerides? What the fuck is your blood pressure? More people die of heart attacks with normal goddamn fucking cholesterol, right? So this cracks me up when people are like, let me look at your cholesterol.
Now, concerning the Liver King's biggest lie, the performance enhancers. On November 28th, 2022, a creator by the name of More Plates, More Dates initially broke this story, dropping an amazing video revealing leaked emails from the Liver King, describing a desire to use growth hormone protocol to maximize results, and a goal of 1 million followers by March of 2022. All of this dated the 29th of June, 2021, long before the start of the Liver King brand. More Plates, More Dates details this.
So this is the first email, June 29th, 2021, which is notable that this is actually almost 2 months before he started posting as Liver King on social media. And yet he seemingly filled out this contact form identifying himself as Brian Johnson Liver King in brackets with an official email, liverking@ancestralsupplements.com. Like, this is very much his brand domain.
So now we not only have a disingenuous narrative relating to his personal fitness, but also relating to his attitude to fame, completely contradicting anything about never wanting to go live as the Liver King in the first place.
I never wanted to go on social media. I never wanted to do a podcast. I never wanted to be like public.
So going into the email, this one, Tuesday, June 29th, 2021, subject, confidentiality. So this is from Brian, the Liver King, quote, "So stoked. Thank you. What's a good day and time for you to have our consultation? I live in the Republic of Texas, doxed. So I am CST, time zone. This is an absolute priority for me, so I will cancel almost anything planned to make this happen with you. My preferred times are 7 a.m., 8 a.m., or 9 a.m. on Wednesday CST, but I could easily do 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. almost any evening. In your time, I believe that's 7 p.m., 8 p.m., or 9 p.m. on Thursday, or 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. almost any morning of the week. You're asking a lot of me with these numbers. Please check my math on that. I could if I could do it. Since that's outside of your regular hours, I'm happy to compensate for the trouble. So let's dig right in. As it relates to my goals, I'm the face of several brands, including ancestral supplements, and have just hired a team to build the Liver King brand with the goal of 1 million followers by March of 2022. I'm pouring ridiculous resources into making this happen, including hosting a video guy that will be living at my guest house, and a film crew that will be filming 7 days a month. Stated, I have to stay in great fucking shape year-round. Maybe take 1 to 2 months off a year. Here's a clip of where I'm at currently, which links to an Instagram post, which is a little trailer, compilation, some artsy shots of the Liver King. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you the guy's fucking puny. He's obviously very well trained, he's got a great physique, he does good work, and I have no doubt that he's as well a smart businessman. But it's not smart to build a core part of your identity on a lie. The Liver King goes on to say, I've been working out for 35 years. I know how to eat, train, rest, and recover. I even have a hard-shell hyperbaric chamber at my house. From Dragon Ball? But as I've reached my mid-40s, it's getting harder and the back fat fucking kills me. To support these exhaustive efforts, I've recently started taking Omnitrope, the 5.8 milligram vials from Empower Pharmacy, $11,000 US per month for my new dose, which is 4 vials a week, 16 vials a month. I'm going to also pause the narration here to let you know that if you want a full breakdown of all of the chemicals, of all the hormones, everything, that's taken care of in More Plates, More Dates' video. I highly recommend checking that out. I don't know if this shit is grossly underdosed or what, but I've been taking 2 vials per week, and my IGF-1 is only at 139. See recent labs below. My doctor told me that I could double it in an effort to get to the upper 200s, low 300s. She thinks I could be a hyper non-responder. I'm wondering if taking a fuckload of other peptides could be confounding the results and possibly interfering with the efficacy. For instance, here's what I'm currently taking. And then here's the whole breakdown of a bunch of things like IGF-1, CJC, ibutamoren. But the Liver King goes on to say, my blood sugar, every morning it's around 74, and insulin are great because I'm metabolically fit as fuck. Or so I think. Some docs think my insulin is too low, but I think it's because I'm very insulin sensitive because I work out like a fucking maniac. I train twice a day, 6 days a week, and walk 10 to 12 miles on my rest day. Can you help me dial in the PED and growth hormone protocol to maximize results? You will see that my healthy labs back on 512 look pretty good, except IGF and GH are always non-existent. My recent labs show some serious concerns, probably the Winstrol, but we're discontinuing that in 2 weeks anyways. I'm sorry, but when you're talking about things as sensitive as your body chemistry, and you have serious concerns in your sentence, I don't think that should just be brushed off. SHBG, lipids, E2 are all fucked. But aside from my joints, I feel pretty good. Yeah, I'm just falling apart at the fucking hinges, but I'm great. The Liver King has made some kind of a response. He's mentioned these allegations. And I'm using that weird up-talky kind of tone because it's not really a response. It's actually it's actually clout chasing because he says in his statement, quote, in a weird way, I'm grateful for the recent events that have shed light on this complicated as fuck topic. What's so hard to understand about it? You were putting enough growth hormone in you for 4 horses every month. It seems pretty clean cut to me, but I call it clout chasing because the Liver King says, quote, he is humbly requesting that a mainstream podcast has him on to discuss his lifestyle. I model, teach, and preach a simple, elegant solution called ancestral living, the 9 ancestral tenets, so our people no longer have to suffer, so we can collectively express our highest and most dominant form. This is my fight. He's an NPC. He's just got stock dialogue. He's got like 3 sets of flavor text. And we just keep running it over and over. Okay, now let's get into the response. Uploaded December 1st, called Liver King Confession. I lied.
Primals, I'm making this video to apologize. Because I fucked up. Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Because I lied. and I misled a lot of people.
I try to see both sides of a situation, and at the very least, Liver King is upfront about there being a serious mistake having been made. My criticism being that he does not explicitly state the issue outright or give a prompt "I'm sorry." Instead, he derails into this waffling.
I stated that this is a complicated as fuck topic, at least to me it is, because before social media, I was rich and anonymous, and after social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous, and I never expected this kind of exposure in the public eye. It's been tricky as fuck to navigate. Well, clearly I did it wrong, and I'm here now to set the record straight.
Yeah, it's probably best to not make how rich you are a selling point of your apology video for fleecing money from your subscribers. Even if it's part of the narrative, and a narrative that, in my opinion, I have doubts about, considering in the leaked emails, Liver King in no uncertain terms said he was aiming for a goal of 1 million followers by March of 2022. He wanted the fame, the recognition. He knew he would be under the public eye. He just didn't think it would be enough to uncover his dirty little secrets. Fuck me, the YouTuber sigh.
Yes, I've done steroids, and yes, I'm on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician. Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread the message.
It's an experiment to spread the message. It's an experiment to spread the message.
Did he just hit us with the "it was all a social experiment"?
It's just a prank, bro.
To bring awareness to the 4,000 people a day who kill themselves, the 80,000 people a day that try to kill themselves. Our people are hurting at record rates with depression, autoimmune, anxiety, infertility, low ambition in life. Our young men are hurting the most, feeling lost, weak, and submissive. So I made it my job to model, teach, and preach a simple, elegant solution called ancestral living, the 9 ancestral tenets, so our people no longer have to suffer, so we can collectively express our highest and most dominant form. This is my fight. This is why I exist.
Look, wanting to raise awareness and help those struggling is not, in and of itself, a bad thing. People live with all sorts of pain every day, and being a light in the dark can do amazing things. But these struggles do not, and should not, need to be co-opted to defend your dishonesty to your audience, many of whom are made up of those same struggling people. You took people who already had a poor self-image, and then in your experiment to help them feel better, you thought the best solution was to sell them an unrealistic body standard and then degrade them by calling them subprimal when they don't look like you. I don't know, just "I lied to you because people are killing themselves" is a wild take.
While spreading the message, I've been on several podcasts, and when asked if I've ever taken steroids, I've always said no, I don't touch this stuff, not gonna touch this stuff, never touch this stuff. That was a lie. I've convinced myself that this had nothing to do with the ancestral message.
The fact that you defend the lie of a natural physique and sold products based around it when you knew it was a lie is disingenuous. You didn't need the money. You were vastly rich before coming into this scene. So why did you still try to chase a cheap buck? If the goal really was the message, it could very well just be free. It didn't need some shitty protein powder and whey attached to it.
I convinced myself that I'm not a competitive athlete of any kind, so who the fuck am I cheating?
You're cheating your audience. You're cheating the people who believed in the things that you said and the products you sell.
I convinced myself that this topic was a placeholder for a far more important conversation. I convinced myself that this would overshadow the 36 years of working out, usually twice a day, without PE. I've convinced myself that this was the vocal minority, usually in the fitness category, driving to an unproductive conversation. And I had convinced myself that this would be the wrong message to send to the 15-year-old boys. So I continually dismissed it, and I dug myself into a bigger and deeper hole. I have only myself to blame. I did that, and it was all wrong. I will be better. I will talk about it openly, because I believe that there's a time and a place for pharmacological intervention monitored and managed by a trained hormone physician.
It's not that you haven't preached some good advice. It's just that you could have preached that message while being upfront from the start, and as you went through your pharmaceutical use, you absolutely would have had a crowd that would have been down for your message and your personality, and best of all, you wouldn't have had to have lived a lie. You're also obviously aware of your incredibly impressionable demographic because you cite a hypothetical 15-year-old as an example. You know your audience pool, and you know you can manipulate them. You played everyone involved, including yourself.
In 2021, when I was 43 years old, I didn't feel 100% physically or cognitively, so I went to get monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician to see what the fuck was going on with my life. And so yes, it's true. I have tried several peptide combinations in an effort to increase my growth hormone, and it didn't work, meaning that my levels still remained below the normal level. So yes, it's also true that I've tried pharmaceutical-grade growth hormone, and I finally found success in managing therapeutic levels in the normal range. Yes, this is true. I've continued on with 0.6 cc's of testosterone per week, roughly 120 milligrams of testosterone a week. And no, I don't take any other steroids like Nito or Withdrawal, but I have tried them in the past without success.
The Liver King details his account of his pharmaceutical usage. However, I doubt we'll be getting any kind of I'm sorry, as even though the Liver King calls this an apology in the introduction, the video is literally labeled as a confession. It definitely feels more that way.
It's also true that my blood chemistry got all fucked up while taking and my lipids got all deranged, my liver enzymes went sky high, which is why clinical oversight is an absolute must. Nope, the Liver King brand has had nothing, or at least very little to do with my business success. My companies were already kicking ass, already successful before the Liver King public figure, growing at 50% year over year and still growing at the same pace after the Liver King public figure.
The Liver King's health struggles aside, he openly claims that the Liver King brand had no effect on his many businesses' growth. However, if you didn't anticipate the Liver King to have any impact on your business, why did you pour so many resources into growing the brand? Why did you hire a team of people to achieve a follower goal, even if we take the Liver King at face value and believe that his brand, as the Liver King, had no impact on the company's growth? At the very least, it sure feels like he wanted it to. Confessing to your rampant lies that you told to your audience doesn't feel like the best time to have a laugh.
Nope, I've never had ab implants, ab etching, or any other plastic surgery, and I sure as fuck never actually had gene editing done in Singapore. I made all of that up. It was all intended to be a joke, and that's an expression of ancestral 10 and 10. Have a little damn fun. Ultimately, why did I, or why do I do them? When I talk about the 85% of the population that suffers from self-esteem issues, that's me. I'm part of that statistic. This is why I fucking work myself to death in the gym. This is why I do 12 to 15 blood-burning workouts a week, just to feel like I'm okay. Still, I have to absolutely crush myself to do so, and I'm wrecked physically and cognitively, and hormone replacement has helped in a profound and significant way. And still, I believe that the path to paradise is paved in fucking hell. I previously have said in a weird way, I'm grateful for the recent events that have shed light on this complicated as fuck topic. I knew I needed to take this opportunity to openly discuss everything, for me to be a better human.
The Liver King states that he did what he did because he too struggles with self-esteem issues. I'm not here to invalidate that, but I'm here to tell you that if you're struggling with your self-esteem, lying and inflating a fake persona to millions will only make it worse. All that achieves is you feeling less like you and more like the manufactured personality. I'm not here to debate the effect of PEDs. Again, that's your body. That's your choice. I'm here to call out a liar.
If there are any questions that remain unanswered, send them my way. I fully own that I fucked up. I am as sorry as a man can be. And all I can do is take extreme ownership right now, be better, and lead myself to a better life as a better human. Again, thank you to everyone for the support, the criticism, the love, the hate, and above all else, the loyalty. Liver King.
By the end, we actually do get to hear the Liver King say, "I'm sorry," but the video still leaves me walking away with a bad taste in my mouth. If someone wants to apologize and be sincere, they usually don't start it by sitting on a fucking throne and showboating their wealth. The Liver King's philosophy is essentially, I wanted to help people by lying to them and telling them a lifestyle that I know doesn't make you feel better was the answer to their problems. Who knew that wouldn't help? To those who tried to emulate me and felt like a failure because it didn't help, I'm so sorry that you found out I was playing you. Oh, and I'm rich. I'd like to point it out. I'm very rich. Don't get it twisted. I'll buy you, your family, your dog, your mom. You took this video that is some bastardization of an apology and turned it into a PR pitch. You are still preaching those 9 ancestral tenets, which we all now know is a load of trite. This whole video feels like an I'm sorry I got caught. And I feel like even using I'm sorry is generous because again, it's not an apology. It's a fucking confession. Now, with this out of the way, let me take you back to Hotbox of the past to wrap this up. I also want to take the last part of the video to talk directly to the demographic that the Liver King tends to market towards, Whether you're someone who does this meat-centric stuff, or you're someone who's struggling with your own perception and definition of masculinity, I want to remind you that there are millions of better ways to build your character, to build your personality, to build your individual self that are healthier and contain a much more positive outlook on the world, and don't rely on buying products from charlatans. I don't have all the answers, and it's okay if you don't either. I said at the beginning of this video, life is abstract, it's gray, it's complex. It's a lot of colors on a messy canvas, but I think that's what makes it a masterpiece. So yeah, end lesson of the video, be careful who you trust online. A bit cliche of advice, but it warrants saying, especially with things like this that keep happening. Live your life, do what you like with your body, but just don't listen to the Liver King. I think that wraps it up nice. I think that's everything that I have for you today. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and share the video around. Spread the word. Whenever you're watching this, I hope you have a good rest of your day and an even better tomorrow. I love you, and before you say it back, look in the mirror and say it to yourself. And I will see you in the next episode of whatever I make. And until next time, this has been the Hot Box. Bye.
Oh boy!
Basically, the Liver King. What? And then it's just do it tonight.